The sunset poured liquid gold over the quiet pond, yet Mira saw only the dull reflection of her worries ripple through the light. She drew her knees close, the wind brushing her hair as softly as the questions she couldn't silence. "Why does my heart stay restless, even when my life looks full?" she murmured. Behind her laughter, filled homes glowed warmly, but peace remained a stranger. Across the small village, an old weaver named Hari Das was finishing his day's work, humming as if sorrow had never learnt his name. The villagers often spoke of him in wonder. He knows something others forget. That night, as the sky deepened to amber, Mira rose with a quiet resolve to learn his secret. Morning drifted gently over the hillside village, carrying the scent of dew and wood. The temple bell sang its slow note, echoing through fields where green waves shimmered beneath a mild sun. Life moved unhurried here. Even the clouds seemed to pause before crossing the sky. In the heart of this calm world lived Mira. Since her father's passing, she managed his little shop of spices and cloth. Villagers admired her tidy shelves, her respectful voice, her careful way of measuring every grain. Yet beneath that grace fluttered a restless pulse, thoughts that never settled, fears that tomorrow might undo all she had built. Success surrounded her, yet peace kept its distance. Across the square, the weaver Hari Das worked by his open window. His hands moved rhythmically through dusty threads as laughter of children spilled around him. His roof leaked, his sandals were thin, yet his joy never seemed to fail. Each time Mira glimpsed his easy smile, curiosity stirred again. What invisible fabric did he weave that kept his heart so steady and bright? The morning began with promise, but soured before noon. Mira watched the rival shop across the lane fill with customers who once came to hers. By midday, the sale she'd prepared for weeks slipped away like water through open fingers. The colors of her fabrics seemed dull, her smile forced. She sank behind the counter, shoulders heavy, heart heavier, wondering if anyone truly saw how hard she tried. "Why does it never feel enough?" whispered the stubborn voice that had followed her for years. Her husband found her staring into space. "You've worked so hard," he said gently, but his kindness only deepened her ache. "You don't understand," she muttered, eyes wet. "Everything stays the same." That night, through the quiet hum of crickets, she heard laughter drifting from Hari Das's cottage, a soft, untroubled sound that pricked her envy. What magic allowed him joy while her world trembled over small failures? The villager's words echoed again. "He carries a secret." When dawn's pale mist reached her window, Mira wrapped a basket of bright cloth and set out along the stony path toward his home, pretending it was business, but walking, truly, toward a cure her spirit longed for. Hari Das greeted Mira with a smile that seemed to lift the air itself. His cottage smelled of tea leaves and dye, the walls lined with threads that shimmered like captured dawn. She sat timidly while he poured steaming tea into clay cups, his hands steady, his eyes bright with quiet knowing. The moment felt softer than she expected, and before she could restrain herself, her question spilled out. "You smile when things break, when storms come, when trade is slow. How? Please, tell me your secret." The old man laughed, not mockingly, but as if laughter were his second breath. He gestured to 3 baskets near his loom, one overflowing, one half empty, one nearly bare. "These are my days," he said. "Most people stare only at what's full or mourn what's gone. I weave with what remains in my hand." Then, leaning closer, he told of a traveler with 2 jars, honey in one, vinegar in the other, who tasted from each along his road. "Life changed," he said, "the day the traveler chose sweetness before bitterness." Hari Das's voice softened. "Peace is choosing the honey now." Mira gazed at the woven cloth, words sinking like seeds. She suddenly felt the small beauty in the steam of her tea, and for once, her mind grew still. The next morning greeted Mira with a gentler light. She opened her shop early, whispering to herself, "Weave with the thread you have." When the supplier's message arrived, another delay, her pulse quickened, then settled. Instead of pacing the floor, she rolled her sleeves and began to dust shelves, folding faded cloth into new bright pairings. Curious villagers paused at her door, drawn by the freshness of her smile. Days passed, and the rhythm of gratitude found her quietly. She brewed tea without her phone's glow, watched dawn rise before the bells, wrote one small thanks each night. The knot within her chest, once pulled tight with worry, began to loosen thread by thread. Her husband noticed it first, the softer way she listened, the laughter returning uninvited. When blame or envy tried to return, she chose the honey instead. One golden afternoon, passing an alley, she saw children jumping chalked squares of hopscotch. Without thinking, she joined them, their cheers blending with her own surprise at how light she felt. As her skirt twirled in the dust, she realized life hadn't changed at all. It was her gaze that finally learned to rest on the gentle colors already there. Several weeks slipped by like calm water. The shop thrived again, but Myra's joy now came from the warmth in each exchange, rather than the coins in her drawer. One evening, she carried a small basket of sweet bread to Hari Das's cottage. Through the window's glow, she saw him working beneath a flickering lamp, humming as if time itself followed his tune. When he noticed her, his eyes twinkled. "Ah, Mira," he said, "did you find peace?" She smiled, placing the basket near his loom. "Not found, uncovered." Hari Das nodded slowly, fingers resting on the soft weave. "That's all any of us ever do. The heart is like a still pond. It shows the sky clearly only when we stop stirring it with worry." Walking home beneath a violet sky, Myra felt her breath flow in rhythm with the night insect's chorus. She knew storms would still arrive, but gratitude would be her chosen thread. Every scent, every sound seemed tender now, as though the world had been gently waiting for her quiet smile to return. The narrator's voice settles like evening light. Peace is never granted by fortune or fate. It is woven thread by thread, through quiet acts of acceptance, kindness, and gratitude. In imagination, Myra lowers the shutters of her shop, the lamplight touching her calm face. She whispers a small prayer, one that seems to drift to every listening heart. The air itself feels gentler, as if sharing her serenity, and the viewer senses it too, that tenderness born from stillness. The story ends with one truth softly shining. The world grows kind the instant we learn to be kind within ourselves.